Alright, let's get it. Now, what you're looking at right here, well, first and foremost, let's do a little recap, or let me explain what's going on here. Taking y'all back as far as we can go to the beginning of time, which really time is an illusion, so we ain't gonna say the beginning of time, but just for lack of a better way to put it, we're going back to primordial existence. We're going back to before the physical world flourished into fruition. And I'm gonna take you step by step into step by step through the process. Explain to you how what it was before we manifested everything into a physical form, and show you the steps it took or whatnot. So right now what you're looking at, you have infinite light, and you see the circle with the 7 rings inside of it and the cross, and then you have the square outside of it. This would be 3 stages of light. Now this light, all this light is sitting at the bottom. And on the flips, it's just like a coin. On the flip side, you had the same type of image, same thing, except for it would be dark. It'd be dark. So you had your darkness, which I got a dark photo of that too, I'm gonna put up, but you had darkness right here in the square. And then within the circle, you have a more concentrated form of darkness. And then at the center, you have your most concentrated point of darkness or whatnot. On the flip side. So one of the things one of the first things we got to do with this light is get enough light to this center point right here, to the edge of the primordial point. These edges right here, which this would be us looking at it from a sub view, or if we was under. Remember, I told you that you got the darkness on the top, you got the light at the bottom. So this would be like if we was directly under this, looking up at it. This would be the side view. So we're trying to get enough light right here to, what we're doing is this is called the circumcision. We're gonna cut right at the edge, right at the edge. On the side view, it'll be like coming right here, boom, coming right here, boom, hitting these points right here and cutting the seals right there, and then cutting across. We'll just use this top layer of light, for example. We'll go this way. This part will go this way. And when they get right here, see this right there, they will start to burn or cut the seal right here, because you have all this light right here, all this light right here, and then you have the eye Horus, or the baby light, the little light sitting right here, and then right here will be sealed off with melanin, and then on this side will be sealed off with melanin. Plus you have a whirlwind, you have a shoe up here. This would be a whirlwind. So let me put that whirlwind right there. This where your S. This where the S comes from in the alphabet. Your alphabet is based off of what I'm finna this whole process I'm finna show you. Basically, your alphabet is based on the formation of the earth. And then you have it coming this side, this way, boom, 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 boom. And then I guess you can put the little part to it. There we go. You know what I'm saying? This is shoot, spinning. Now, when I left off yesterday, I was trying to tell you, I was explaining to y'all about Islamic mosques and their architecture in Arabia and Islamic architecture. Their buildings are basically squares with domes on the top. Even when you look at the Kaaba, which is where they go to, which is Mecca, in Mecca basically, where they go to to make the 7 pilgrim or the 7 circles around the black stone sitting in the center of the mosque or the temple or whatever that is they have it in. It's a little black cube or whatever. The Kaaba, Ka is light. It's your the Ka would be like your astral body. It would be like the it'll be like your light. It'll be like your body. It'll be like the light that runs, that totally permeates throughout your whole physical body, existing within the shape of the physical body, since it's running through the whole physical body. But it'll be a layer of light, and then your Ba would be the soul, which is the concentrated point of you, the concentrated light in the heart or whatnot, or behind the heart or whatever. Kaaba, that's where we get, if you get that from or whatever. And this is where they get that from. Like I said, when you come outside of the circle, this is infinite light, and it would expand this way, expand this way, expand this way, expand this way. Like I said, this is looking at it from under it. This light out here is scattered light. It's scattered infinite light traveling. The difference between the light in here and the light here, because this light is more concentrated and more active. See, the light outside of here is the square. When you go to Kemet or Kemetic teachers, and you deal with Osiris, one of the forms of Osiris is Osiris laying flat out in a mentor. What is a mentor? A mentor is the underworld. Amen means hidden. Ta means land. Amen Ta, a mentor, the hidden land. And it's other shit too. Cause one thing I'm gonna show y'all, which I already been showing y'all within the teachers or whatever, but I'm finna show y'all how the words, period, vocabulary is so flexible, and there's so many secrets locked within just words themselves. I could take one word and scramble and break down, deal with the numerical value of the number, of the letter or whatever, and unlock so many unlock so, I don't want to say secrets, but unlock so many, so many deep understandings, which was what I did this weekend. When I was reading this book, man, I just got to a zone. All that light out here, this is the square. It's the circle, and around it is the square, paper square or whatever. So Osiris laying flat in the mental. This is Osiris laying flat in the mental. Mental is the underworld, the hidden land. He's hidden under the blackness that's on the top. He's laid out flat. When you start dealing with the center of the circle, you start dealing with synthesization, bringing things together. When you build what you do, you're taking different elements and bringing them together. So when you're dealing with the center of the circle, this is the beginning process. This is where all this light that is scattered here concentrates at the bottom of the light. So, well, this, like I said, this is the bottom of the coin. So when everything gets here, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me go back to the outside. So you have infinite light out here in this square. So this paper wouldn't stop nothing. In reality, it'd be light going this way, infinite miles, and light going this way, infinite distance. Light going this way, infinite distance, and light going this way, infinite distance. Now, light falls under masculinity, the category of masculinity. Masculinity is activeness falls under masculinity. Passivity falls under the feminine aspect, which is darkness or whatnot. But when you're dealing with the light outside of the circle, i.e. the square, Osiris laying flat in the mental, or in the casket, what they tell you, Set put Osiris, invited him to the party, and had a casket set up for him. In the casket, and they had a contest to see who fit the casket best. And when Osiris got it, they had the casket cut out just for him. So then when he got in the casket, they put the lid on it and threw him into the water or whatever. What's the water? The water is the darkness. This is the casket. This would be the casket right here. The flat, the square. Osiris on the square, in the square. He's in the casket, and then the second assault of Set on Osiris was him mutilating the body. Once again, all this light out here is just scattered particles, broke apart or scattered thoughts, or scattered raw mind power. See, when you, so I'm gonna show you something that's gonna, if you understand what I'm about to say, it's gonna put a whole lot of shit in perspective. When you talk about God or the Creator, and your orientation towards spirituality is, oh, I'm gonna ask the Creator. Well, first with Christianity, it was, oh, I'm gonna ask God, and then people start trying to get a little deeper. Then it's like, oh, I'm gonna ask the universe, and really it's almost they saying the same thing, but they just don't believe in Christianity or believe in religion no more. So they replace God, the mystery, as we call it in the 5%ers, the mystery spook God teaching it. They should replace that with, oh, just the universe, and then, or the Creator or whatever. And then you have another word which is called the source. Now the source is more of a on spot on word for it, because that's what it is. The source. You the God. And that's just, and God is really a it suffices to explain who we are. But even that is because really to define God is the limit or whatever. So, but anyway, but I'm saying people who say like, oh, the creator, or I'm gonna talk to the creator, or I'm gonna talk to the universe, or whatever. When you say that, you're talking about the source, which is all this shit is the source, really, but we'll just keep it understandable. The source is all of this light. It's infinite light going this way, infinite light going this way, infinite light going this way, infinite light going this way. That's the source. The source is random mind power, random raw mind power, just scattered infinite amounts of, just infinitely scattered out. So you have darkness going this way infinitely, and darkness going this way infinitely, which these are the dark waters of noon. So when they say they threw the casket in the water, what they're just saying is you have Osiris on the outside of the circle of creation before, and this is before we started building the physical universe. You have Osiris in the cube of space, the flatness. This if you was look at this from the bottom, then go to the top, which is up here, see the circle from the bottom, they both sitting in a square. Infinite darkness going this way, and at the bottom, infinite light going this way. So the dark water of the noon would be sitting on top, or Osiris in the square of the casket would be sitting under the dark waters of noon, scattered out and split up and scattered out, as opposed to in the circle where I here to be more spread out and scattered. When it comes to the circle, this is where the concentration part begins, where it all starts to come together, and then the light goes through that center point and comes up through the top to the top point of the circle, and that's when it starts to interact with the dark melanin on the top, and that's when we start to create the in the melanin, when the light, the reaction to the light going through the center and then coming out and spreading out through the top, making the top part, which is darkness, okay, which would be this right here. It'll come through there and flood all this with light in the process of creating where we at now, which is the planet Earth, as well as, because planet Earth, believe it or not, planet Earth is ground zero. Everything in it, where we stand at right now, well, I'll put it like this, because where the sun at is actually ground zero. But before the sun, the position where the sun sit at right now, the Earth once sat right there, and the Earth, the sun came out of the Earth, and when it came out of the Earth, by the time it came out, the sun was coming down the center of the Earth was raising up with the sun coming down the center. So by the time the bottom of the Earth reached the point which was once the center, which was once the center of the Earth, or once where the center of the Earth sat, now the bottom of the Earth is sitting right there in that point where the center of once was, with the sun sitting right at the bottom inside the Earth, and then the Earth shoots off the top of the sun and leaves the sun in the position, or the center point, which is right here. It leaves the sun right here. So when the sun comes down, when the sun was created up here and comes down here through here, this is the bottom of the Earth. It's not looking like it is. Just follow me. It's the Earth right here. The sun is coming down. The Earth is coming up to the point of where, by the time the sun gets right here, this point is sitting right here with all this up here, and the earth is basically sitting like this on it, on the center point, with the sun and the root chakra all sitting right there. Then the sun, then the earth pops up off of it and leaves the sun right there. But so we'll say that the earth, the center of the earth is where everything kicked off at. We can say that. But then the earth, after it was created, it went on into its own orbit and then left the sun in a position where the earth once was, but the center of the earth could still be looked at as ground zero to a certain degree, because the inside of the earth is where everything started at. So I know y'all should get that. So now, when you talking about, like I say, these are random, this raw mind power. The source, it is the source. It's the source of the energy, or the source of the masculine energy. But you have to take the source, you have to draw or channel. When you hear people talk about channeling, what you're doing is tapping into the inner you, where the true light is, and you're drawing down light. You're actually drawing light from inside yourself, but just use the physical world as a blackboard. This would be your mind, and actually, this is the when it's all said and done, one hemisphere of the brain, the other hemisphere of the brain, which from the bottom view, this would be a hemisphere of the brain, this would be a hemisphere of the brain, that would be the pineal gland. So when you channeling or drawing energy, basically what you're doing is you're drawing light from out here into in here, and this is where you're thinking about it, and you start contemplating about it and concentrating it. And then when you concentrate or focus on something, that's equivalent to drawing all this light to the center. One point, its most concentrated point, is most or when you're in your most focused, it will be where all the light is concentrated right here, ready to come up through that center. This is when you're thinking it right here, and then it comes up. It all concentrates right here, and it comes up through that center point, and it comes up over the top. And when it comes up over the top and starts to come out and spread out through here and push this up and cut and create and everything it's gonna do, that's take the light the transference from the bottom up to the top, where it's gonna interact with the melanin and use the melanin to build and manifest the physical world. That's synonymous, or that's the same way your mind works. Once you concentrate on whatever you're trying to do and focus, and then you got everything you need, you bringing or manifesting whatever you're trying to do into fruition will be equivalent to drawing all that light to the center. That's thinking about everything you want to do, and then bringing it to the surface level, or making it manifest on the outside world, is when the light goes through that center, comes up over the top of the darkness, and then goes up to the top where the darkness is there and builds with the melanin, or builds with the physical, or with the matter, or whatever. So, but if you was to look at Osiris scattered out in immense as a state of mind, this would be when your mind is, this is called the scatterbrain. You know, when you hear the form, well, when you hear people say, well, I'm practicing on meditating, but I'm having a hard time, because when you meditate, you're trying to come into most of the time you're trying to come into a particular degree of mental silence. So you'll hear people say, "Oh, I I can't stop the chatter. I'm having problems meditating because I can't stop the chatter. I can't stop the chatter in my mind. This is the mind chatter, the chatter box right here, the square where the light is all scattered out, like Osiris did in the mental. Whether he be in a casket or whether whether he be mutilated, but the contradicting part about it, the thing about it is, all this light is scattered and departed, but it's infinite particles of light. So it's by it being infinite particles of light, that means there's so many of them that the light is gonna be so. Even though light is light is the opposite of dense. The denser something is, the more condensed something is, the more heavy it is. But with light, by light being, i.e. light, it can be condensed. When there's so many built up, it's to the point where it's thick. And it gets thick to the point to where, like I said, light, masculinity and light, masculinity activity falls under masculinity, light falls under masculinity. So the source of movement is masculine energy. But so the bottom part where all the light is supposed to be the land of activity, but it's like the yin and the yang. You have the masculine side or the yang side, which is light, but it has a drop of darkness in it. So the drop of darkness, okay, you have the light out here. This is the masculine aspect. Masculinity or light does what I just said, move, or it's active, it's not passive. But it'll be so thick, it'll be so many particles of light, and so many thick particles of light, thick condensed particles of light. Condensation is femininity. So the drop within the dot, the black drop within the yang, when you translate it in terms of this, it would be the yin and the yang would be the light particles, which is light, but it'll be manifesting the feminine aspect of itself through the density, and it'll be so thick and moving so slow that it looks like it's not moving, but it is moving. Light is always moving. Light is synonymous with movement. So it's the yin and the yang. It looks like it's not moving, so it looks like it's still or passive, like feminine energy, but actually it is moving because it's light. It's always moving. It just looks like it's not moving. So on one hand, when you know, like I said, it's the chatterbox, and then you have, you know, and I know y'all see. This is what I be saying about, you know, you can learn from the outside, but a lot of this, like this whole shit I'm doing, I use pieces and bits and pieces of stuff, to assist me with this journey. But this shit is coming from within, you know. Nobody ever showed me how the world came into fruition. I had to find out on my own. I had to see even the information that I used to further a lot of just when I started contemplating this and started seeing it. Even the information that I use when I'm breaking it down to y'all, a lot of it is the information that I came up with intuitively or on the inside. And then the information that I use in the books is just me showing you evidence of how the shit that I'm coming up with from the inside is on point with what we out with the knowledge that's already out here. Especially which I'm gonna show you later on in this series, especially with the comedics. That's why I said the shit that I tell y'all, I'm the one, and I'm Horus and all this shit. I have the information to back this shit up. You know, I got irrefutable evidence. I can go show you books where the shit that I'm doing, the ancestors, which was nobody but us, Ben wrote this shit and said it was gonna happen or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So the information, when I said all that to say with the chatterbox thing, You know, because I don't know how many people, you know, I don't know about the new generation, but that's a phrase we heard. Chatterbox is basically somebody that talks too much or talks a lot. But one would have to say, well, where does the box come from? Why did it say chatterbox? And then when I start doing this when I was contemplating on this the other day, and I came into I said, well, this is the part of the mind that's just scattered out, random thoughts. The part where it probably makes it hard for you to meditate because you can't quiet the mind. The mind is thinking just random thoughts or whatever, and not being able to concentrate. I said that's the chatter that blocks the meditation. And then the word came on my mind, chatterbox. And then I'm looking, I said, yep, it's all there. So but yeah. Oh, another thing I wanted to say too. Cause I think I fucked up with the chakra things when I was doing the formation of the earth videos. You know, that's how serious I be about this shit. But I think the chakra, I think one or two times when I was breaking down the color spectrum of the chakra, I said that the brow chakra was violet and the crown chakra was indigo, which is the other way around. And I'm just, like I said, I'm just backtracking, you know, which I knew, but like I say, sometimes you get caught up moving fast and woo. And even with my damn picture, I had to go back and do my picture again. The picture when the sun finally took off the earth finally took off the sun. But that's the violet and that's the indigo. But I had the goddamn indigo here and the violet head first. But no biggie, you know what I'm saying? I had to go back and fix it a little bit. It's Roy G. Bill, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. And then you got the sun right here. I'm gonna get into some shit with this too. This shit is, I ain't gonna even go there yet. Sometimes if you want to, I ain't gonna tell y'all yet. I just show y'all this shit. But yeah. So, and I know it's hard to see the actual yellowness of the color in there, but y'all know what I'm talking about. So that's Osiris laid out the mental or whatever, and then you have the counterpart on the top, which is this is the darkness scattered out infinitely this way, infinitely that way, infinitely this way, infinitely that way, infinitely up, infinitely down. And basically, this is called the dark waters of noon. When you hear about the nothingness, the infinite nothingness, that's what it is. Darkness is the silence, the peace, the stillness. You know, and like I said, this would be triple blackness, triple darkness of space, the three trimesters of birth, 1, 2, 3. You know what I'm saying? And this would be scattered out infinitely this way, just like the light sitting on top of the light. And you know, it's called it's the infinite nothingness, inactivity. It's no activity because it's nothing there to happen for anything to even be active. So it's the infinite nothingness, the peace, the stillness, or whatever. So we deal with the square. Now, let's just say we're building. Now we know we got infinite light this way. We got all outside of the circle is infinite light. But let's just say we get to a point to where we say, okay, well, we're ready to start building now. So what we're gonna do is we need a little bit more light in the center. So we gonna take all this light here within this square, and once we get this light that's left right here in the circle, then we're gonna really get the popping. You know, and it's not like if you take the light from the square and put it in a circle There's no more light now. No, this infinite light. This we just right what we talking about right here. That's why it's really an internal thing. That's why really everything is about the center point, because that center point is the mental or the spiritual origin of all things outside of it. Everything outside is a reflection of the center. The inner, the kingdom of heaven is within. So what we gonna do is take this, once we get this last square light in there, we can really start to get busy. So like I said, light is the activity. While all this is taking place, this is spinning. Remember, the top is inactive because it's feminine, but it's spinning, and that's where the whirlwind in the center come from. Because it's not because the top is moving, it's the activity of the light at the bottom causing the spinning motion, but by the melanin on the top being attached to it, it is also spinning. So that's the yin and the yang with the melanin or the darkness. The darkness is stillness, but even though darkness and stillness is synonymous, or femininity, the feminine energy is synonymous with darkness, and darkness is synonymous with stillness. Even though it's dark and it's still spinning, because the light under it, or the energy under it, is causing it to spin. So it's not moving on its own accord, it's moving due to the energy up under it, spinning it around. So that which is the darkness, which is really still, which is in itself stillness, is moving in a circle because of the light under it spinning it. So when all this light starts to come to the center, and all this light starts to come to the center, how does it happen? You got light coming from the flanks, boom. Coming from the bottom, boom. Then you got light coming from the angles. So, this is where you get your arrows and all that shit from. When that light comes, the angle. See that? Boom, boom. That's an arrow. That's an arrow. Just like I was telling you, damn, I hope I showed y'all niggas that shit. But I'll go back. Let's see right here. Just like I was telling y'all, this is a whirlwind up here. And I was telling you how the letter S comes from the serpent. So you start there, boom, S. Come back there, boom, S. Oh, well, S is spinning, and it's called Shu, the whirlwind. Shu is the breath, or the wind. Shu represents air, wind power. So, the whirlwind, which is caused up here by the light spinning down here. So, Shu, when you dealing with the four corners, you have Shu, the angles of light. Angels, ankles. You got, angles, ankles, and angles. All the same thing. They tell you an angel has wings, right? That's a wing. That's a wing. It will be the center point. The whole concept of the angels having wings comes from the sun. The sun, the rays from the sun that's coming, emitting from out of the sun, around it, is surrounding it, and it looks like wings. So when it's coming over the horizon, it's rising in the sky. It looks like the rays coming from out of the sun is flapping and making it fly. The sun coming over. This is Shu. See, Shu raises things up. The wind raises things up. So Shu is going to be the power. Another thing about the darkness is it's a vacuum, or it draws. Light moves toward. Light moves. Moves forward. Darkness draws in, or pulls in, or draws back, or draws towards it. So this right here is like a magnet, or it's pulling up. You got the whirlwind like right here, which the back. Make sure I switch it over. You have the whirlwind right here, spinning in the center, with its base sitting on top of right here. You will read about that. Get ancient Egypt light of the world, and you'll see them talking about Shu standing on the hill. That's Shu standing on the hill. The whirlwind sitting on the hill. This is called the Mashu. Shuma, where the word Moses comes from. Moshi, Mushi, Musa, Musha. Get out some game real quick. Okay. This right here is the Musha. See, the word mother comes from mud. Mother, in all actuality, the word mother is synonymous with black and synonymous with melanin, the feminine energy. The word mother comes from mudda. When they say madu, when they say what's the name of what we call it, the ancient hieroglyphic writings, the Medu Neter. The Medu. Du means two. Me means mother. Madu, the double, the Medu, the mother double. Du ma du. The two sides. The double mother, the moon, which is eventually going to be sitting at the top, and then the dark mother, which was going to eventually be sitting at the bottom. When all this, after the earth was finally brought into fruition. Another thing too, which you can find a lot of shit doing too, is when you're dealing with words in your study, interchange the vowels. A, E, I, O, and U. L and R are interchangeable. And then interchange A, E, the vowels. A, E, I, O, and U. You'll unlock so much. If you're on the right path and you know how to synthesize information and put two and two together, that is a powerful tool right there. You'll find out so much. You unlock so much information when you start. I'm gonna show y'all niggas too. This is just the beginning of this shit. When you start interchanging them vowels, you start unlocking shit. You'll see a word might be J-A or K or we'll say K-A, and then you might interchange the A with an E or put an I there, and then see, oh, you might say, okay, well this means this. And then when you start interchanging the vowels, you start running into other words that are okay, let's just say we take the word box or whatever. So you take the O, you might say, well, box means this. And then you might take the O out, and I'm just hypothetically speaking, don't take this box, because we know what box means, but I'm just saying. So you take the O, and then you put the I, Bix, and you might say, oh, Bix. Well, Bix, I see Bix. Oh, okay, that box. So box, B-O-X do mean box, because B-I-X is this, and then it's just like the box, and you have to interchange them goddamn vowels, man. You gonna see some shit, man. I'm telling you. When you dealing with the dark top, the top is the dark. you're dealing with the feminine principle. One of the symbols of Osiris is the lotus plant, or the papyrus reed. The lotus plant and the papyrus reed as well, if I'm not mistaken, grows in a marshy soil, or marshlands, the marshes, black, swampy, thick, condensed mud or whatever, swampy waters. Okay, now you take the word. So basically, what happens is the reed or the lotus is coming through is growing from its root through all that sticky, swampy, muddy water, and it's coming out and growing up to the top and stretching out towards the light of the sun or light of the sky, or whatever. When you go back into the when you look at the birth of Heru, it's symbolized by him sitting on top of the papyrus reed, or on top of the or in the lotus flower or whatever. Why? Because Heru is going to come from this center point as that little bit of light, and he's going to grow from out of this sticky. So when it comes from the center, this is the marsh, this is the mud land, the marshes, and he's going to grow from this center, coming up out of that mud land, the same way that the papyrus reed grows from out of the marshes. Just like we grow from our things that we may go through in life that are negative, or negative experiences, or bad. Well, I can say negative. I'll say what would be considered unfortunate situation, whatever. The situation, or just like the plight of black people altogether. That's why I be trying to tell black people now. You know, all these talks of it's coming, and the shit you talking about. Everybody talking about it's coming, and this is coming, and it's a war on it, and all this. Man, that shit has already happened. We really on the good side of things right now. Going into that, the bullshit we see is still a little residue, but we went through this is the Heru era. This is the golden age. We went through the mud and all that shit already. You know what I'm saying? Like our whole plight, that everything we've been through as black people, all the things we have to complain about up until this point, was the mutilation of the body of Osiris. Black people as a whole represented Osiris, Isis, and Heru, but we'll stay in the Osiris box right now and say our plight was prophesized by when in ancient Egypt, when we told a story about Osiris, Isis, and Heru, we were prophesizing about what was going to happen to us now, or what was going to happen to us up until this point. So all the shit we went through, all that oppression we went through as black people, and all the separation, and we can't get along no more. We can't get along no more, and all this shit, the family, just break up of the family structure and all that shit. All that was the white man, or whatever you want to call it. That was equivalent to Soot mutilating the body of Osiris. All the things we went through during our oppression, that's what that represented. That's why we ended up fucked up. Now it's the resurrection. Now it's the reassemblance. Not saying you have to run out to the street and grab every black person you see hand and kumbaya it. And I'm saying that this is the resurrection. This is the Heru. This is Isis that put the body back together. And now the son is here. Which the son is the son and the daughter as well too. That's what they're gonna tell you. It's the Mayat, the Harmaku, so I gotta tell you, I'm Heru, but I have a feminine side to myself. So I'm predominantly masculine, but but in order to be complete, you have to have a feminine aspect as well. And that's why that's why I always tell niggas you have to be in tune with your feminine side. I have a feminine side as well. So it's the father, the son, and the mother all in one. So But anyway, let me go back to what I was saying about the marshes. Okay, look at the word marshes. I'm gonna take you there real quick. You have M-A, mother. M, the letter M itself. Once you start studying Kemetic text, you'll start to see that the letter M itself is synonymous with mother. So you have the M, and then you have the A, the Ma. Now A is synonymous with Osiris. And Aset too, Aset Osiris, but when you look at the letter A, you can when you look at the shape of it, it's a phallic or a shape of a penis or whatever, or you know, the arrowish type shape of it, or the upside down V of it is phallic. N is the first letter of the alphabet, number 1. 1 is synonymous with man. But like I say, everybody has a masculine and feminine side. So even though A will be predominantly a masculine letter, it has a feminine aspect too. That's why, hence Aset or whatever. So even when you look at the letter M, the letter M is 2 A's put together. That's Isis, that's Osar and Oset put together to form the M. And then the M is what I just told you, the mother, the M. But you got M-A, we'll say Ma. That's where you get the word Ma, also means justice as well. Maya. So you have M-A, Ma, the mother. And then you have R-S-H-E-S after that, Arshes. What's Arshes? So let's get into it. M-A-R-S-H-E-S. M-A, mother. Then you got R-S-H-E-S. Arshes. Or you can say Arshes, or you can say Arsis. Or Ars. What is Ars? Ars is another name for Heru. Ars, Ars, R-S. Ars. But if you spell it A-R, that means star. A-R, when you see A-R, A-L or whatever, that's another word for star or whatever. But Ars, we get the word Mars from. Mars is the planet of Heru. Heru is a warrior god. Mars, you know what I'm saying? Ars, Mars. Ars is basically Ars, which is Heru with the M in front of it, meaning M, the mother, and the son. Ars, Mars. But R-S-H-E-S, Ars. Okay, that's one way of looking at it. So you got the mother and you got the son. Well, I just tell you about the marshes. The mud, water is the mother. Ars is, and look, the word marshes is just, you look at the word marsh or marshes, it's just, you're gonna see a swamp, muddy like type land or whatever. Now, look at how I come to the conclusion I came through just by breaking the word down, and watch how it all come together. You got M-A, which is the mother, and then you got R-S-H-E-S, Ars or Arshes, or you can get Arshes, or that's close to ashes. Ashes is another symbol for fire or whatever. Well, let me stick to what I'm doing right now. So you got R-S-H-E-S, that's Arshes. Now let's play around with this word. When you take the let's say I take the what is it? R-S-H. Let's say I take that H, right? And I put it in front of the R. That's H-R-S. Horus. H-R-S. H-R-S. Horus. So the H, you have the H-R and the S. Which will leave you with what? Let me write it down real quick so I can look at it.
So you got Ma, and you got R-S-H-E-S. Take the H, this Horus. Okay, and then you have Ma, which is the mother. And if you take the R-S-H and put the H in front of the R, then it'll be H-R-S, which is Ma, Horus, and then you got that last E-S, which is S, which would be another name for Isis. So remember I told you the M synonymous with Ma or mud. So on one hand, now when you go back, you got Horus, you got Harmaku, you got Hartima. Hartima is Horus, T meaning two, and Ma. That's Horus and the two mothers. That's Horus and the light, and Horus and the light Isis and the dark Neptunes that sits in the underworld. The Isis would be the moon. The moon is ice. Ice. When you Isis is ISIS. That's the reason ISIS is represent the two halves of the moon. One, when the moon is like a dome, say this is the body, when it's out, when the process of the earth is being created, or the process of the earth is when the process of the creation of the when the creation of the earth is in process, this is going to become the bottom, the earth, the soil, the mud, the darkness, and it's going to be a moon. The moon is going to be on the top. Isis, 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 Is to be Ice. So go back. I'll tell you about the vowels. You got M-A, Ma, R-S-H, which I just tell you is R-S-H-E, R-S-H-E-S. All together would be Arsh, or Arshis, or Ars, Arsis, that damn it like Isis too, but Arsis. And if you take that H, put it in front of the R, and you deal with the H-R-S, you have Ma, then you have Horus, and then you have E-S left, which was Is. Is, Sis, that's feminine, that's Isis, just with an E. When I tell you, change the vowels. Take that E, turn it into an I, that would be ice. Or sit, or is. When you hear that, anytime you hear like is, or Ishtar, or is, that's dealing with Isis, or feminine aspect, or whatever. There was another word I seen in here too, that when I was breaking it down. Like I said, you put the E in front of it, or you can take the E and put it in front of SH. You got, matter of fact, say you take the E and put it in front of the S. That'll be Ishis, close to Isis. With the R in front of it, it'll be R-Isis. So it'll be like R, which is Horus. Then E-S-H-E-S, which would be Ishis. Ishtar or Ishis, Isis, Is, you know, Sis, you know what I'm saying? So, or you could take the S, put it in front of E, and then put the other S on the other side. That's Sis right there. E-S-E-S, S-E-S, S-E-S-H-R will be Sis-her, Sis-her. So you put them all together, you got the mother again. So it's like the word, when you look at these words, so you have, so what I'm telling you is the marshland, marshes, is a word which means dark, swampy, muddy water. If you take the word and break it down, you can see where it gets its name from. When you see that, when you know that the papyrus reed grows from out of the marsh or the muddy waters, and you know that the lotus plant that grows from out of the muddy water is synonymous with Heru, because Heru was a picture coming up on the top of the lotus plant, which grows through the mud. So that's the mud, the mother, and the sun. The mud that the papyrus reed grows from being the mother, and the sun being the papyrus reed. the son and the mother, the mud and the papyrus reed, the mud being the marshes. And we about to cut it off right here. So I'll be back. Let me